everybody, I'm Elisa. We're back. We're going through the male reproductive system. We're going to do part 4, Introduction to the Testes, which I had a little spelling error that I covered up because I don't have a PhD in spelling. I'm so sorry. All right, let me get going here. Let's talk about some of the coolest features of the testes, which is one of my personal favorites, is this cooling mechanism. So clever. Okay, so what ends up happening is, so sperm need like 35 degrees C to really just like, develop properly and, be a successful sperm, right? And that's what we want. We need that for proper reproduction. But the problem is, like, most of us are at, 37 degrees Celsius, right? So that's like a problem if you're a sperm trying to develop. And what doesn't help is that you have this super warm arterial blood. Like, here's like a testes down here, right? And here's all the little baby sperms. They're super happy at 35 degrees Celsius. But this like blood is rushing in at like 37 degrees Celsius from the arteries, and that is super not good. So what ends up happening, and it's not really shown here, is this the veins actually form this cool thing called the papiniform plexus, and it makes this like lattice around um, the artery, which just pulls off heat, right? And it can drop it by like 2 degrees Celsius, like pretty fast, at least before it reaches the sperm. And then the sperm are happy because they're going to develop properly. Yeah, very cool thing. And we just refer to that as the countercurrent heat exchanger. Right, let's learn some more stuff. Testicles, the testes, the testicles combine like to make a lot of stuff. They're so busy. So they're not just endocrine, but they're also exocrine glands. Because endocrine is going to produce signals that are going to be used on the inside of the body. But then exocrine glands, because they're going to produce sperm, right, which are going to be moved to the outside of the body. Each one of those tests, right, yeah, okay, we talked about that. So each one of the testes, they're oval, egg-ish shaped, sort of flattened, a little-ish, you know. So they're covered in anteriorly, they're kind of like, I guess, how would I say, like if you took a small, like a pretty small, um, hard-boiled egg and just kind of compressed it. That's kind of what it is, but it's like actually really tight. Lots of connective tissue. Anyway, so covered anteriorly and laterally by tunica vaginalis. Remember, because originally, if you don't get that Y, you're going to be female, right? Or even, XO is fine, but the Y confers maleness, biological maleness, okay? So, tunica albigena is white because, like, albigen so refers to the white, right? Like albino, right? So that's referring to the whiteness. A fibrous capsule around the testes, right? Which is there's quite a bit. And the connective tissue is a septa, right? Right, it separates something. It divides the testes into these kind of like wedge-shaped lobes. Okay, we'll talk about those lobes here in a minute. Seminiferous tubules are going to be these ducts where sperm are produced. And like it's like a nursery, right? Like for baby sperm. Because remember, females are born with every single one of the eggs that they will ever eventually allow to mature into into ovum, but sperm have to always constantly be remade. So they're constantly being turned over. So there's always brand new sperm being made. And so they're in their cradle. Okay, so we get 1 to 3 in each one of the lobes, right, or the lobules. Each tubule is going to be lined with a thick germinal, right? Germinal meaning like germ cells, right? So sperm is a germ cell, for example. That epithelium of germ cells, which are cells that are going to become sperm. They're going to grow up, and then there are cells which do exactly what you expect. They would basically nurse these baby sperms into becoming big grown-up sperms. The nurse cells just kind of sit in between the germ cells themselves, which are again the baby sperm. They protect them, they feed them, they like clean the area, they promote their development. They're just, they're there to watch out for them. The germ cells depend on them for everything, like food, taking away waste, growth factors, and then like other stuff we may not even know about yet, and some that I'm sure some researchers are really well versed in, but it's not on your test, so let's just get the basics. Okay, so interstitial endocrine cells between the tubules produce testosterone, which is neat because like It's actually a lot like estrogen. Sorry, I'm trying to, like, it's a lot like estrogen, except it has like a little more of aggressive binding factor. So it can kind of flip those cells a little faster, right? Testosterone must be estrogen. So it's really modified estrogen. Cool thing, huh? Anywho, here's a dissected testes, right? So it's been dissected and cleaned. And so you can see here, tunica albigena, it's white connective tissue. It's very smooth. It's held in nice and tight. Remember we talked about the epididymis, which is kind of like right before they leave, right? It's the last stage of like a drop off before they actually end up in the vas slash ductus deferens as they're being ejaculated on out. The spermatic cord, remember, has like all the blood vessels and the finiform plexus and nerves and, like, all everything. Muscles that are going to move the testes in or out. Down here is like the tail of the epididymis. Like it kind of wraps around it a little bit in the back. So here's part of the scrotum folded down, but you can't really see it. So, for the most part, these are the alpha things I wanted you to see. Blood testes barrier is super important because of things like your immune system, which is very aggressive. And also there's toxins and all kinds of stuff. So it's similar to the brain. We have a blood-brain barrier, so we have a blood-testes barrier, which protects it. So there are tight junctions between these nerve cells, and they kind of like, are, how do we say, bouncers at the door, right? Keeping it separated from the immune system, which our immune system is awesome and aggressive and totally out to get some things that it shouldn't, in the case sperm. It prevents these antibodies also from entering in and clogging up or causing any problems, as well as some of these other large molecules from getting into the germ cells themselves. So it's really protective. It's really like straining all of that out. The germ cells are going to be immunologically different from the rest of the body because they are carrying, right? It doesn't look like this, it looks like this, as well as a handful of other issues. They're going to be attacked by the immune system. All right. Okay, so that's it for now. I hope that was super helpful, and I hope you're out there somewhere having a great day. Bye bye.